right. Super excited because I get to chat with one of my dearest friends, someone who I've worked with for multiple years, Ashley Wiens. She is an online and in-person fitness trainer. She's also a highly published cover model, and we've worked on numerous features together. And also she was a part of our Get Amped Mastermind. And we watched her career trajectory absolutely erupt from looking at what once was a side hustle to being a flourishing entrepreneurial venture. Ashley, how you doing today?
I am doing awesome, and I'm so honored to be on here today.
I always love chatting with you. Whenever we kind of put our brains together, something always really good comes out of it. So I want to get into your background a little bit. Obviously, I kind of mentioned that you're an online and in-person trainer, but what was it that got you into the health and wellness industry? And then what was it that kind of got you really excited to progress within that industry?
So I went to Colorado State University and was on my career path to becoming a dietitian. And I ended up my senior year deciding not to follow that career path.
Mm-hmm.
And at that time, I was prepping for my first competition, and I became like very fascinated with the health and fitness industry and wanting to change people's lives through fitness and nutrition. So I decided to get my personal training certification and then take my career path on that direction.
Now, at this point in so many people's trajectory, they think that once I learn what I need to do to be a trainer, like, so I learn everything about the body, I learn everything about the physiology, I learn everything about how to manipulate the food that goes into the body, and then what exercises have the best results, all those things. But that doesn't necessarily impute that you're going to get a lot of clients out of it because you studied the body. You didn't necessarily study how to get those bodies in front of your program or vice versa. So what was it like in the early goings as you were trying to get some momentum? What were some of the lessons that you had to learn as a solopreneur?
For me as a solopreneur, when I first started my independent business, it was all about word of mouth.
Mm-hmm.
I did not know anything about business besides the one class I took in college. And it was kind of like a trial and error process for me. So I didn't know how many clients I needed to make my net income, my goals that I wanted to make income wise. I didn't know what I was worth charging. I mean, I used to charge $50 for an online program. And, now I can't imagine, if I was able to charge those prices, like how many clients I would have to actually make a living. So it's just so many newbie, I guess you could say, errors that I made, just not thinking that I was worth what I was charging. And I've definitely learned a lot of lessons along the way on one, like what my worth is as an owner in a business and what services I provide, and then how to attract my ideal client.
I'm so glad you mentioned that. And my guess is we're going to get back into worth because that is such an important topic that so many of those watching or tuning in are probably feeling themselves, which is, well, I could not get more than what I'm charging, or you know what, the market means I can't charge more, or everyone else in my area charges about this, and I'm already at the upper end of this. All these things that we kind of say, no one would pay more than this. But the reality is that there are only three ways that you can increase your revenue. Only three. Number one is you get more clients. But if you're working at $50 a pop and you get lots of clients, what will you run out of? You run out of time. Okay. And then you're like, well, how do I make more money? I'm working from the second I wake up to the second I go to sleep, but I'm maxed out on time. How do people make more money? Well, they go to option two, which is they get better clients. Better clients pay more than their previous clients. But at some point, you still might run out of time, or you still come up to some perceived ceiling. And then you come into the third phase, which is, you know what? I'm going to develop income streams that do not tie my time to the income that I am earning. And that is when you actually step into that role of being an entrepreneur. So I know we're going to circle back onto worth because it's something that's so important, but I want to dive into where were you at within your career when you came across myself, some of my coaching services, and the mastermind, Fitposium, and all those things. What put us on your radar?
So I just moved to Arizona. I've probably been here a year, and then I had heard about Fitposium. I want to say it was in 2017 when I first moved here, but I had just missed it. And so I was like, you know what, next year I'm going to go to Fitposium. I'm going to learn as a fitness entrepreneur how to grow my business, be around like-minded individuals, just to kind of help myself network and connect with other people. And so I had set that goal for myself. It's funny that you mentioned kind of like reaching that max capacity of what you could take on. I was there. I was working for another company in Arizona. I was working over 60 hours a week. I had 55 clients, that was just with them. And then I had my own business on the side that I was doing from when I moved to Colorado to here. And what happened was, because I was so busy working for somebody else, I stopped investing and putting, effort into my business, because I had all of these clients and all this other stuff that was taking up my time working for somebody else. And so it was when I went to Fitposium, I think I'd actually talked with you a week after about that, about what my goals were as an entrepreneur. And this is when we had connected, and I decided to invest in joining the mastermind group, because I had reached that maximum, amount of clients that I could hold. I wanted to make more. I wanted to work less. I wanted to have more work-life balance, but I didn't know what to do because I couldn't work anymore. And so how was I going to make more money? And from there, it was basically like, okay, you made me realize, like, okay, you can't work any more hours, Ashley, but how are you going to make more with what you're doing right now? And that was to work less for somebody else and to develop and grow my business, like I did before I moved to Arizona. And through that process, it took me a lot of like digging into like, okay, can I do this on my own? Is it okay to leave this other company? What will be thought about me? And the real thing that I needed to like dig deep and discover and realize about myself was what my worth was, and what I wanted in life, and who I was as a coach, and what kind of service I wanted to offer. Was I being true to my brand? Was I being true to my identity? Was I speaking to my ideal client? And all of those things were a no. I wasn't being true to my brand. I wasn't being true to my identity, and I wasn't speaking to my ideal client. So through, being part of the Get Amped Up mastermind group, I really was able to discover who I was, like I knew who I was, but I didn't know how to show people. I didn't know how to talk about my business and not conflict with someone else I was working with. And so like the real thing that I had to dig deep and do was honestly separate with who I was working with and go 100% on my own again. And that was a hard decision just because I'm such a people pleaser, and I was afraid, with leaving, what would be thought about me. And that really didn't matter because I wasn't being true to myself, my brand, and my identity, and my ideal client. And so with that leaving, even though it was a hard step, being able to truly be who I am and talk about what I want to talk about, and it has not only made me happier in my day-to-day life, but it has helped me attract the kind of women and people that I want to work with.
You brought up so many important aspects in your journey. And I remember that first call that we had before you joined the mastermind. And what we did on that first call, and I bet if I dug, I could find the notes, was we looked at what your freelance income was when you were living in Colorado, just working for yourself, and where your income was since you had moved to Arizona. And what we found is, even though you were working 50% more hours, you were making, what was it, like half the revenue that you were making from when you were just doing it. So you were working twice as much, making half as much. And I remember just the energy on that call of when you saw those numbers and just how much that impacted you. So what was it that helped you start to realize, no, I am worth more than this? How were you able to kind of break through those obstacles or those barriers in front of you?
I think a lot of it was being surrounded by so many like-minded individuals. The support that I had from the Get Amped Up Mastermind group was like so key to my success with choosing to leave and being okay with that decision. Like I knew I could be successful on my own, but I think I just needed that support to kind of push me to make the hard decision to leave. And then once I did, it was like, I was like, why didn't I do this sooner? You know, I think we have this kind of self-limiting belief in like what we can accomplish on our own, and we feel safe, you know, maybe working for somebody else or having, you know, a well-known company that you're with and clients that are coming in. So you just feel comfortable. But for me, it was like I needed to get back to who I am and, you know, like what I wanted to do. And I think like when you broke it down, like you're making less than when you were working for yourself. I was like, wow, working more. This sounds like a dumb thing to say, but just because you're busy doesn't mean you're successful.
Mhm.
So I was working more, being less successful than I was when I was on my own before I moved to Arizona. And so it was like when you told me that, and I was like, okay, well, my goal is to make more. Then why am I working for somebody else?
Hmm. Yeah. Yeah, and I remember when you started to gain momentum on your own, and it was so amazing to see your confidence build. Every new client that you took on yourself, your confidence increased. Every new time you landed a media feature, your confidence increased. Every time you're able to leverage something and make a new connection, your confidence increased. I'd love for you to kind of peel apart what it was like for you in this process over the course of the year that we were working together as you were starting to mass your success based on your efforts.
Um, you know, it's very humbling to be given, you know, opportunities to like one, promote your brand or to be in a media feature, to get a new client. Like all those things are very humbling, but to realize like people are like attracted to my business or, you know, want to work with me as a coach because of who I am as a person and what kind of services I offer, not because of the company I'm with. It's
Mm.
because of like, you know, a client that they've heard of mine who's gotten results and they, you know, they're like, who do you work with? And then same with like media features. Just like those were so like the feeling is just like, wow, like why me almost, you know?
Yeah.
It just I think like the more and more I was true to myself and my identity and my brand, the more opportunities that I got because I was being, you know, unapologetically myself. And that was what was attracting people like clients as well as, you know, features in magazines or, you know, other social media opportunities as well.
Yep. You hit the nail on the head right there. It's once you start to own your position and you start to own who you are, what you do, and why it matters, you start to attract the right clients, the clients who have been waiting for you this entire time. And that's what so many need to understand is if you are not positioning yourself in your eye or in your mind as deserving the success that you're charting out for, no one else is going to see that for you either. But when you start to see your path and you're like, I deserve this path, I deserve this success, I deserve this future that I'm working towards, then other people, they don't just see for you, they feel it from you and they are like gravitating towards you. And that's exactly what happened in your journey, Ashley, which I think is just such a testament to the not just the work you're doing on your business, because it's one of those things that you know I can say I appreciate so much about working with you is if I were to give you a list of 20 things to do. I said, Ashley, I need you to go work on these 20 things to build your business. You would do that, and then you'd find 5 more to do. Okay. Like you never had excuses. You just got work done. But the thing that I admire so much about you was the work you did inside in the time that you and I spent together, because you developed the entrepreneur, not just the business that you were running.
And I love what you said about that. It's because like you know, like I am totally a to-do list person. You give me things to do and I will do them plus, you know, like you said, 5 more because I am a workaholic. That's part of the thing that I discovered with this was, you know, working more doesn't always mean more successful. Workaholics need to have some kind of balance in life too, because you can't work all day, every day and enjoy your life.
Mm-hmm.
I think when you have more work-life balance, that's when you work harder on your business in you know, an appropriate amount of time, a normal work hour time, so that you can be more productive in that time.
Yeah.
So like charging what you're worth, so you don't have to work as many hours. Setting, you know, boundaries with work so you can have balance outside. Like I was able to meet the love of my life in this process where like before I was like, yeah, whatever, like that's never going to happen for me because I was working from, 6 a.m. to 8 or 9 p.m. at night and thought that that was success. And that's not, because it's what do you have to show for that besides I didn't even have, my ideal income with that. So it's like when I started, prioritizing like what I needed to get done that day. Also, this is what one thing that was really, I think, a pivot point for me with my business was setting goals. I learned that with a mastermind group. You guys helped us stay very accountable and on target with what we wanted to achieve each quarter. When I set those goals for myself, like it was like a kind of a reverse engineer process where this is what I want to achieve. What do I need to do in these, 3 months to make that happen? And then that's how you can be more successful with having a target you want to reach and then breaking down where that target is and what you need to do each month to get there. So instead of like, yeah, this is what I want to make at the end of the year, well, I'm going to work really hard and hopefully that happens. No, it's like, this is what I want to make at the end of the year. This is what I'm going to do each month. And that's how it's going to happen. So there's actually a plan in place, not just kind of like a hope and dream that you want to make X, Y, Z at the end of the year. And then through that, you can set up other avenues in other areas in your life to where I'm only working from 8 a.m. to 5 p.m. Any hours outside of that, I'm not working. Or like for me, my business with personal training is kind of all over. I work when I have clients, and I'm still doing in person as well as online right now. So I get to kind of pick how I structure my day, but at 6 p.m. I stop working. And I get to work out in the middle of my day. So that kind of breaks up, my work hours. I think, but with not being a workaholic, as in working all day, it definitely helped me create more structure and balance in my life to where I don't just make my income goal. I enjoy my life more too.
Yeah. And the thing that you said right there was plan over hope. It's one thing to set your goals and to set your vision, but if you're not building the plan on how to achieve it, that's just where it stays. And you actually work to build the plan. That is why, one, that's why your income started to accelerate. That is why you started to make more money in the multiple X's from what you were before you started working with us. But also it's why you're able to determine, what does success look like for me? Because success for me doesn't, and when I say me, I mean you, success doesn't mean working 16 hours a day. Success does not mean burning the candle at both ends. What success means is I build all the income that I could ever want while still building the life that I know I deserve. And that's such a great point. What would you say over the time that we worked together, where you say you were able to get either from me as your coach, from the mastermind, that you did not have before that helped you make these changes within your trajectory?
I think one, support and a plan. I didn't necessarily know how to successfully set up my business to reach my income goal. Like I didn't necessarily think things in reverse, like I had said. I didn't think about, okay, this is what I want to make this year, and this is what I need to do each month in order to make that goal a reality. I didn't know, how to attract more ideal clients. I didn't know, prospecting was a thing. I didn't know so many things about, what price to charge for my services. Having, even multiple levels of services and things to offer, lower ticket items, medium ticket items, and then like my high dollar ticket items. I just said, this is my price before, and if you can afford it, great. If not, then well, good luck. Yeah, hope you can find somebody else. It wasn't like, well, this is like, these are the multiple things I have to offer. I even approach my consult calls different now, with, instead of this is my prices, it's a, what can you afford for coaching each month? And then I give them an option based off of what they can afford, so they can still work with me no matter what their budget is. And that's, I think, a big thing, because it's not like every client that I have a consult with, I went from maybe getting, like a 50 to 30% conversion to more than 50. I think I'm at like an 80% conversion with every consult call that I have right now.
Amazing.
Even in a global pandemic, I'm going to make more this year than I did last year. So it's crazy just when you are truthful and honest and like unapologetically yourself, you attract all the right people. And even when like pandemics and things like that happen, I'm still getting business. I'm busier now than I was last year.
Once again, that is a testament to the foundational work that you have done. So my last question is, what advice would you give to the entrepreneur who's watching this or listening to this interview, who's sitting there thinking, I know I am destined for more. I know I'm worth more. I know I deserve more. What advice would you give to get them into motion so that they can start to make the changes in their career and their lives that you were able to make in yours?
I would write down a list of everything that you want. And it could be, you know, like in 6 months, 12 months, 5 years, 10 years. And then sit there and be honest with yourself and saying, is what you are doing right now going to help you get to those goals? And if not, then you need to have a course correction, change in your course. And then two, one thing that really helps me is a task list, so that I know what is expected of me to do each day. And it could be working on my business or it could be working in my business. So two different things, you know, like there's the day-to-day work when I have new clients, you know, work that I'm doing for them. And there's work that I'm doing to continue to grow my business. That's not necessarily working on, you know, this person paid for a plan, and so I need to finish that plan for them. It's how am I going to continue to grow this business, to continue to grow my income so that I can help more people, that I can offer more services, and I can have even better price points that it's going to serve more people when I don't necessarily have to do more work myself. So figure out what it is that you can do to offer all of those things to your ideal client or, you know, your ideal customer for what you're doing. And those are like big things that once I realized, okay, this is what I want to do and this is who I want to help, that helped me continue to grow my brand and my business.
That is such amazing advice. Ashley, I want to thank you so much for taking the time to be a part of this conversation. Where can listeners and viewers go to connect with you and learn more about all the amazing things that you're doing?
They can go to Instagram. I'm at FitFabAsh, so FitFabash. And I pretty much post everything on there from, you know, like my food, my workouts, my cute little puppy, my life with my boyfriend, all fun, fitness, and life. And then I also just wanted to say thank you so much, not only for having me come back on here and talk, but for you and Kelly specifically for everything that you have put out there and offered, you know, for not just the get amped up mastermind members, but for everyone who does Symposium and even just on social media in general. Like you guys offer so many free resources and tools for entrepreneurs to grow their business and brand. And I'm very thankful for you because I probably would not be in the position I am right now if it wasn't for investing in myself to do the mastermind group.
Thank you so much. And honestly, it's a honor and joy for us to be able to deliver this information because it's what brings individuals like you into our ecosystem where we can work with you and we can help you cultivate and chart the path to build that success. And then look at what you've done since then. Because since us working together, you've just continued to accelerate and take it to new levels. And it makes us so proud of the amazing work you're doing. So just honored by you. So grateful for you. So grateful for knowing you, working with you, and just seeing all the amazing success that you're building.
Thank you, James.